with the famous Starrod Kirby. Here's the first plush we'll be looking at in this set, or, well, first two. Starrod Kirby. This guy is not only the most well-known out of the set, he also came in two sizes. Yes, both small and large Starrod Kirbys exist. Both share a very similar pattern, with the only difference really being their size. Kirby here is standing tall, proudly displaying his well-earned Starrod in his raised hand, with a wide smile on his face. Kirby's eyes are made of a hard black plastic, which perfectly captures the light reflecting off this plush, making his eyes really shine. Kirby's mouth is opened, showing his tongue, which is made of felt, and looks to be simply glued on. The mouth does look a little sloppily executed on the small Kirby, but it looks great nonetheless. Kirby's blush marks are simple embroidered dashes, which are perfectly positioned and look great, and they even stand out from the plush's fuzzy material it's made of. This is a very soft boy. While I've sadly never gotten the life-changing chance of holding one of these Starrod Kirbys, he looks very soft to the touch, and Bandai used a fantastic material on these. Kirby's hands and feet are small, but that's accurate to how they were in Kirby's Adventure. Kirby's Starrod is firmly attached to his hand, and is usually sticking upwards, though it does seem it can be bent out of shape easily. The red and white pattern isn't perfectly stitched onto the rod, but it looks fine. The star looks very well shaped, and even has a border around the edge of it, to make it look more detailed than a simple star cutout. This detail is on both the large and small Kirby too, showing no details were sacrificed for the smaller size. Here's a look at the set's paper tag. Only the Starrod and Parasol Kirby seem to have come with this, with the keychain Kirby having this sticker instead of a tag. Anyway, the tag is based off the Japanese main art for Kirby's Adventure, with the game's logo on a white background full of yellow stars. The tag also has a pink border, and the Bandai logo at the bottom corner. Along with that, there are HAL and Nintendo copyrights, along with text that reads Bandai 1993 Made in China. The tag is attached with a silver string looped through the plush's touch tag. The touch tag is a simple white tag with red text, most likely used to match the Bandai logo as seen here. Here's the best look at the back of the tag I could find. It's mostly just legal info, but you can see an ST3 here, which signifies the set was released in 1993. I'm actually not sure how large these two are. I imagine the small Kirby is around 7 inches, with the larger one being closer to 12 inches, going off of pictures at least. Now, you may be wondering, where do these pictures come from? Well, these pictures were actually taken at a, get this, Kirby merchandise museum. I'll talk more about this later, but the museum showcased nearly every piece of Kirby merchandise imaginable. Tons of stuff shown off here wasn't even known to exist. They had products spanning the entire history of the franchise. Kirby's Adventure plushes, Kirby 64 figures, even merchandise from the anime. Basically, it sounds like the greatest place on Earth. But, as it turns out, I guess HAL or whoever supplied the merchandise to go on display here just so happened to have tons of these old Bandai plushes lying around, so they made them basically the flagship product on display here. So, thanks to the museum, we now have pictures showcasing dozens of these plushes together. Now would be a good time to talk about how rare and valuable this guy really is. Alright, so what's the rarity of these plushes? How hard is it to acquire these? Is it possible for you watching this video to someday own one of these? Well, yeah, but it'll take some insane luck, a chunk of your life savings, or a combination of the two. Notice how I didn't say how these guys were released? Well, I actually don't know. There's no way they were UFO catcher prizes. They look too high quality for that. So I want to say they were available for retail purchase. If that is the case, which it likely is, they had to have gotten a very limited release. And given the demand and hype surrounding these, especially the Starrod Kirby, they go for insanely high prices when up at auction. I've only seen a handful of these guys go up for sale, and almost every time they go for huge money. I'll start relatively small. There's one listing from a few years ago of the full set, from the Japanese site Mandarake. I'll be referencing this listing a few times in the video, but in the case of Starrod Kirby, the listing had the small one up for 20,000 yen, and the large one up for 40,000 yen. For reference, at the time of me making this video, 20,000 yen is roughly 188 US dollars, while 40,000 yen is roughly 375 US dollars. Now, it is possible that these were just rough guesses at their value, as no recent auctions had happened at the time. However, they sold. They sold for these prices, and that's at least how much they're worth. But if you think that's crazy, just wait. Those were fixed prices that the store chose. How much could these go for when up at auction on, say, Yahoo Japan? Well, thankfully, as I mentioned at the beginning of this video, two recent Yahoo Japan auctions listings for this set showed up. One of Starrod Kirby and one of Parasol Kirby.